Welcome back to the Condo Guide YouTube channel. My name is Adam Hancock once again. I am your host, and this is the smartest way to navigate the world of new development and beyond. Today, we release episode number 2 of our brand new video mini-series on one particular interesting penthouse unit inside a building called the SIX88 in Sarasota, Florida. This episode, first episode was an A to Z guide. Episode 2 is around 5 reasons that this unit may be the perfect residence in the state of Florida for you. Okay, number 1 on the list, the elephant in the room, is the free boat. There is a promotion going on right now. The developer is throwing in a brand new boat plus to the buyer of this particular unit. I get it's $10 million. You can buy your own boat, but this just further adds to the value prop of the building and the turnkey nature of a second residence, in my opinion. You have a Grady White Freedom 275, brand new, directly from Cannon Marina, which is one of the highest sellers of Grady White boats in the area. You have twin 200 horsepower Yamaha motors that come with it. I believe a 27-inch center console. And all of this sits on a brand new 10,000-pound hydraulic lift that's included with the unit that is appended to a deeded boat slip that's probably worth more than $100,000 itself. And not all these units have deeded slips. This is one of the only in an unbelievable location to the town itself. So that is my reason number 1. My number 2 reason for potentially buying this particular unit, space. Space in every sense of the word. So I say these are condos. These are much more like large luxury single family homes in the sky. What I mean by that is you have 4,600 plus square feet of interior air conditioned square footage on a single floor on the 8th floor of a 10-story building. Expansive. The way that's going to feel in that unit is going to be tremendous. But the average home size in Sarasota, Florida is nowhere near that size. Auxiliary to that, you have 600 square feet of exterior terrace. To add those two together, and then this is the penthouse, right? So the penthouse is on a different floor. So you go up to the roof, you have an additional 1,000 square feet of exterior space on a rooftop deck that overlooks the water. So you have a 1,700 square foot house in addition to your 4,600, just an outdoor space. That is going to be unusual. It's going to be unusual as time goes on. I think they're going to build more urban space-conscious units in the future, in my personal opinion. I think these will be gone with the past at some point. I think it is very unique. Okay, number 3 on my list is a geography play, and that's the idea of this lovely, quaint district called Golden Gate Point, where this building sits. So you take Florida, you're in Florida, you take Sarasota. Sarasota on its own outright, unbelievable. Best mousetrap in the state, in my opinion. It's so central. Knock on wood, bad timing for this statement, but hurricane proof. We've skirted it pretty well overall. But you are 45 minutes to St. Petersburg. You are an hour to Tampa, 2 hours to Orlando, 2 to Naples, hour and a half to Fort Myers, Cape Coral's in between, 3.5 to Boca, 3.5 to West Palm. Miami's right there in that same range. Jacksonville, 4.5, St. Augustine, Nocatee, Savannah, Georgia's 6 hours one way. You know, so you got everything it has to offer if you had to pick one spot. But then you come into town, and now you have your choices of like, where do I go? What's here? Well, the cool thing about the size and orientation of this particular part of the state and this city as a whole is when you go west, you get everything. You know, towns are built on urban downtown thoroughfares, cosmopolitan districts, and the beaches in Florida. Well, the downtown Sarasota and the beaches happen to be 3 to 6 mile square radius from each other. And that's not any beach. That's Siesta Key Beach. That is Lido. That's Longboat Key. That's Anna Maria Island. These are 5 of your top 10. Well, when you go west, you get everything. And once you're over west, it gets tricky. It's historic. It is expensive. There's not many places to still get what this value proposition would be. You can be in downtown, you can be in the quay, or you have to commit to being on the beach. Well, amongst that whole minutia, you have this area called Golden Gate Point. Golden Gate Point is a charming, quaint neighborhood district that's a peninsula, surrounded on water by 3 sides. And it doesn't just sit on water, but it sits with access on water in this triangle that gives you access to the functional bridges, which is the name of the whole game. It's not just water for water's sake in Florida. It's functional water. Can I use it? Can I get to the beach, right? The Barrier Islands. Well, Golden Gate Point not only sits you just below the southern Lido Beach Bridge. So you have Lido, you have Longboat Key, Holmes, Cortez, all the way out to Anna Maria Island to the north. But just south, you're on the North Siesta Key Bridge. The main part of Siesta Key that everybody likes is on the north side of the island. Then downtown, you look to your left and downtown's right there. But all of that, you're not sitting in the muck of a busy beach or busy downtown. Golden Gate doesn't have an 18-story limit, it has a 10. You go to that thing, it feels like one cul-de-sac roundabout. And amongst all of that, you have a $10 million penthouse that is a combined 6,000 plus square feet, shaped like a sail on a luxury yacht going to the water in a district that is surrounded by charming, quaint, not that. I think it's unusual. I think it's going to be more unusual with time. And I think if anything will stand the test of time, rather. This unit's right in that conversation. All right, my reason number 4 is the amenities, but not the amenities themselves. It's really the orientation of how the amenities apply to the units. So amenities are cool. Luxury condominium amenities are amazing, right? You're paying the fees, you're paying for all that kind of stuff. But amenities are cooler if you only have 9 neighbors. 10 total units, you have 9 neighbors. Probably a lot of them aren't full-time in the area. So you take that and you have a docile, really kind of a close-knit community feel in a luxury building, which is kind of unusual. And then Golden Gate Point, that whole area has that feel anyway. So then you take your marina lounge and you take your social club and your spa heated swim-up pool combo, your dog grooming, your rooftop terrace that sits on the other side of the private penthouse terrace. You take all of that, and the most you're going to have in there, if you think about it, right, even if everybody was 2 or 3 people, it's not many people. There aren't going to be 25, 30 people using your pool all the time. Very possibly it's just you and your friends. I think that's a really big perk of these new boutique buildings, especially if you lean towards exclusivity, which you very may well be if you move into this kind of building. All right, my 5th and final reason that this penthouse may be perfect for you and or your family is kind of a catch-all from a value standpoint of all of these items together. So if you started macro and you looked at Florida as it exists to the United States in value, and then Sarasota as it exists to Florida, and I mentioned the Golden Gate Point area, the peninsula, as it's valued to the city of Sarasota itself. And then you add on to that, and you're like, I'm kind of tracking with you there. And then you add on, what's the world of condominiums right now? You could be in downtown, you could face the water on Gulfstream, but it's a little play down, and you are in an urban district, or you got to be east of Tamiami Trail and kind of be in the city, right? Or you got to be at the Quayer Bay District, 14-acre waterfront district. A lot of the buildings aren't boutique in this fashion. A lot of the water views are blocked because of the buildings in front of them, and you're kind of stepping down these things. And you take a luxury 10-unit building on a peninsula that is not the norm. So quaint and charming with luxury. And then you add all the size to it, right? There's 3 collections here that exist on the 10-unit building as a quick catch-up. You have the Signature Collection. That's 5 of the units on floors 1 to 3, 1,900 to 2,100 square feet. Well, then from floors 4 to 7, you have the other units that make up the balance of the 9 that don't include the penthouse. These are all 360-degree views. They're all 4,300 plus square feet. And so you're like, these sizes are very unusual for the cost in this area. And then you have the water view, the beach access. You have the deeded boat slip, and you take the penthouse in that whole conversation, and you're saying, if this area is what people think of when they think of the value of Florida, and you think in the perfect realm of paradise living, you think of this kind of building in your head, and you got water right a stone's throw, and the bay, and the beach bars, and the boatable restaurants, and you have St. Armand's Circle and John Rainling invented cosmopolitan luxury beach district, Siesta Key Beach right there with the quartz white sand that doesn't get hot to the touch. Downtown Sarasota, the growing Rosemary district. And you live in the penthouse on top of all of that with this skyline. It almost is the pinnacle of a conversation. It's value within value within value within value, if you agree with most of what I said there. So I think if you're boiling down to a perfect scenario, if you agree with all of those facets, I think the 688 in Sarasota, Florida's penthouse is right up there. All right, my friends, that is a wrap for episode number 2 in the 688 Penthouse video mini-series. Again, I am your host, Adam Hancock, on the Condo Guide, your smartest way to navigate the world of new development. If you're wondering, what do I do from here? What next? Like, what context does this video have in the grand scheme of things? Couple things. One, whether you potentially are the buyer yourself, like this, you're interested in it for you. You know someone that maybe it's a good fit for. Maybe you're a real estate broker out of state with a referral. a lawyer doing the same kind of conversation, I would do a couple different things. One, would it make any sense right now to connect with the sales team? This could exist within a concierge presentation where they speak about not only the penthouse, but the other units available, particular to your situation, more contextual. Speaking with the developer directly, this guy has an unbelievable point of view. One of the most regular guys that's so poignant, tells you what he thinks, describes these buildings perfectly, whether he has a vested interest or not. He's one of the best that I've talked to in this realm. Even design team, if you're wondering how the unit you're looking to buy, your design would apply to, I think this kind of unit would afford you the ability to ask those questions and see those things. Reach out, I can facilitate all of those things. If you're not interested in the one penthouse, but you want to see the other units, and again, there's 3 or 4 units that are the same square footage as the penthouse, not exterior, but interior, that are several $1 million cheaper by just being lower in the building. If you want to know what those are, you want to know the availability, I can facilitate all of that. If you want to know what else is around Florida, around Southwest Florida, to even compare value prop, like, is this a good deal or bad deal? What else am I seeing? Like, how would I compare this one unit, these other units? Reach out. We have a whole team. That's all they do. And you even want to ask us questions before you think it would be relevant to this kind of conversation. Phone number, email address, anything you need from us at all, please let me know. More importantly, thank you so much for watching. Check out episode number 1 if you've not already done so in this series, and appreciate you all. We'll see you on the next one.